The 80s are over, dude. Nobody wants you in their band if you're playing like this guy. They want you in their bands to play good rhythm guitar, the kind of guitar that actually sounds like good music and normal non-guitar players want to listen to. Rhythm guitar can actually be a little bit more challenging than lead guitar, especially when you look at the timing element and the fretboard mastery element. To be a good rhythm guitar, you need to have a well-established sense of timing, and you need to know how to find some chords around the neck too. So in this lesson, I'm going to break things down into two sides. We're going to be looking at the timing of rhythm guitar and the fretboard side of rhythm guitar. So let's start off by taking a look at the timing side of rhythm guitar. And the very first activity I want to talk about is called the basic funk formula. And what this is actually going to do, this is going to get you to start ditching strum patterns. You know those things people always tell you to play and they go, oh yeah, you got to play it with down, down, up, down, up, you know, or a down, 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 up, down, up. Those things don't really exist out of what I call the guitar classroom. In the real world, nobody talks about strum patterns. That's just in a learning guitar environment. John Lennon never looked at George Harrison and was like, hey, you're playing the wrong strum pattern there. You got to be playing the down, down, up, down, up. Nobody talks about those kind of things. That's just for when you're getting started. And the funk formula is the ultimate way to start making up your own rhythms, not relying on strum patterns, but just playing it how you want to play it. So the basic concept of the funk formula is you're going to strum the downbeat of every single chord. That's all you have to do. Everything else is totally up to you in the moment, but you got to strum the chord right at the beginning of the bar. So if the speed is 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you just strum the chord one time right on the downbeat of whenever that chord is played. Now, what you do in between those strums is totally up to the moment. And I'll show you a few strategies here. You can add extra strums. You can hit some single strings. Let me pull up a backing track and give you a little example of the funk formula here. Just right on the downbeat. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just right on one. Now the next step is try putting some things in between there. So I can add maybe just another, let's add just another strum. So I'll go 1 strum, 2 strums. 1 strum. Now let's try adding in some single strings. I know sometimes those are a little complex. You can literally just one random string. As long as your left hand is in the right spot, it doesn't really matter what string your right hand hits, as long as it's in time. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can add more strums if you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the one mandatory rule with the funk formula is that you have to strum the chord right on the downbeat. And even if that is all you do, that actually still sounds pretty musical. Like if you rewind that again and listen to the first couple times me playing along to that backing track, actually sounds pretty good right out of the box with just the single downstroke. So that's the funk formula. That's definitely going to get you out of the land of strum patterns. So bring up a song you know how to play and try to work that funk formula. That was Knocking on Heaven's Door that I'm playing kind of a bass drums example of. That'd be a good one to start off with. Now, another great concept for timing is going to be something I call playing drums on the guitar. And what we're actually going to start off doing here is whatever song you're playing, I'm going to pull up an Oye Como Va backing track here. Whatever song you're playing, you want to mute your strings and you want to use your right hand to imagine you're playing drums. Like pretend you're holding a bongo in your hand or a hand drum or some kind of piece of percussion. You're going to mute with your left hand and just drum along with the right hand. And there's a couple modes I'm gonna show you here. So let me get the backing track going and I'll show you exactly what I do to really pump up my rhythm skills. Hey. So I'm just hitting downstrokes. Just pretend I'm hitting a bongo here, right? Try going slower, right? Let's try it. Right? Start going. 2, 3, 3, right? Whatever you want, as long as it fits into time. Also try doing some downs and ups. And these are kind of the modes I suggest you find, the all downs and the downs and ups. If you do this enough, you're really going to be able to do some cool things when it actually comes time to bring in those chords. All right, bring those in. All right, so originally So if you start adding in more strums, right, getting more complex, you can get some really interesting stuff going doing this. And this is something to this day that I still do all the time. If I'm playing a song and I really want to get rhythmic on it, I will literally start off doing that. I'll have the chords in my head, but all I'm going to do is play different chicks and muted strums and just try to get my right hand involved with the track, not thinking about it too much, and then bring those chords in after you've got some rhythmic ideas from playing some drums. And like I said, that is going to absolutely transform your rhythm guitar skills. So now let's get to the second portion of the lesson where we talk about some fretboard stuff here, because obviously playing things in time is very important for a rhythm guitar player, but there's a bit of a different language going on with this fretboard stuff that rhythm guitar players have to know. The first tip I want to show you guys is a little trick I got from one of the greatest rhythm guitar players of all time, Nile Rodgers. And it's a great tip. What you think of is you've got not one guitar here, but you have two guitars. You've got two 3-string guitars. One of them is the E, A, D strings, or the 3 big strings. The other guitar is the treble strings on top of it. So you got your bass guitar and your treble guitar, not to be confused with an actual bass guitar, but you got the bass side guitar and the treble side guitar. And if you think about those two instruments kind of playing together, rather than you just going right strumming through all 6 strings every single time, don't do that. Try playing just on the bass guitar a little bit. Then try switching to that high guitar, the treble guitar, right? And if you have this kind of cool, this kind of play and relationship between the two guitars, kind of bouncing off each other, that is a great way to really pump up your rhythm sounds coming out. So I'm going to pull up a backing track here. This one's kind of a all along the watchtower type backing track. And I'm going to show you this. I'm going to use really the bass strings, then the treble. I'm never going to strum the whole chord, and it's going to make my strumming sound way more interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Low, high, low, low, high, low, high, low, low, high. So instead of just strumming right down all 6 strings, because I'm on 6-string bar chords here, I could strum right through, but instead I'm going low, then high. And oftentimes I'm doing that after that, a low, low, high, low, high, low, low, high, right? So don't always strum the whole thing, right? Strum the bass, then the treble. It's all about the contrast and the relationship and the playing back and forth of those two things. If you got all 6 strings all the time, it's just a little bit too much. No, it's just too much information. It's too busy. So break it up into 2 guitars. Now, the last thing I want to talk about today is bar chord mastery. One of the really important things I find about being a rhythm guitar player is knowing how to play a chord in more than one location. So that, say you're playing with an acoustic player and they're playing an open G chord, a good rhythm guitar player is not going to play that same G chord. They're going to play a G chord maybe up here, right? Or maybe over here. They're going to do one that's harmonizing with it, not just playing all the exact same notes. You'll find that actually doesn't sound the best when you've got two guitars playing the exact same chord voicing. Sounds much better if you've got one guitar playing this G and another guitar playing this G. So let me demonstrate this for you for a moment, show you a little example. I'm going to pull up that bass and drums Knocking on Heaven's Door backing track one more time. And this time I've got a 12-string guitar playing the open chords for this track. So me as the rhythm guitar player, I don't want to play the same chords that the 12 string is playing, the open chords. I want to harmonize with some bar chords. So instead of playing the opens, I'm going to play some high bars. Check out how cool it sounds when we harmonize. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's really the best thing you can do as a rhythm guitar player. Like, that sounded so interesting, right? We had two guitars harmonizing, didn't sound like they were clashing or in the same spot. And that's really gonna make a band and a song sound more interesting. By doing that and harmonizing with bar chords, you're gonna make the whole band sound that much better. And between the two guitars, it's like you're creating an orchestra of sound rather than both competing for the exact same voicing. Now, just a quick how to do that, because there's a little bit of knowledge involved in being able to immediately find another chord, because that is a good rhythm guitar skill. You need to be able to find any chord quickly. So remember, with bar chords, when you're on the E string, this is a major shape right here with my middle finger down. And because I'm on the A note with my first finger on the big E string, this would be an A major bar chord right here. Now for this string, if I take off my middle finger, that's now an A minor bar chord, right? So A major, A minor. If I move it down to the G root, G major, G minor. Move it down to the F root right here, the first fret, F major, F minor. So you need to know the notes on your E string and your A string. You don't need to know all 6 strings, but knowing your E and A to get your bar chords. The other side is the A string, right? So if I go over to this D note, if I want to play a major bar chord shape, that's this guy right here. This is a D major, because I'm on the note D, and this is the major bar chord shape off of the A string. Want to turn this into a D minor? Boom. There's your shape right there. So I've got D major, D minor, because I'm rooted off the D. If I move this over to the C here, now I've got C major, C minor, move it up to the F, F major, F minor. So bar chords are a simple concept, but they do take a little while to get in your head. So if you're serious about becoming a good rhythm guitarist, I would highly recommend you start learning some songs with just bar chords and get those in your head so that you're able to go C, D, G, or C, D, G, and you know where those bar chords are. And for sticking around till the end, I've got an awesome gift for you. I'm talking about this book right here. This lesson is called How to Instantly Solo in Any Key, and it'll definitely get you having fun and creating your own solos. A lot of rhythm guitar players end up neglecting their scale studies and their solo studies, and this in turn sometimes actually causes them to miss out on some advanced concepts. The first thing that this book is going to do is it's going to show you how to identify a key in record time. Then it's going to show you a quick formula on how you can start to solo in any key. And it's 100% yours, and it's 100% free. So click the link in the description or click here now to get your copy of this book here. Guitar is one of those really quickly rewarding instruments as long as you have somebody giving you the right information. So check out the book, have some fun with some soloing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.